Sri Lanka to take delivery of 500,000 doses of the Covishield vaccine from India tomorrow. China and Russia prepare to provide vaccines. State Minister Arundika Fernando tests positive for COVID-19. Final session of the Presidential Commission probing April 21st attacks to be held this evening. Farmers' protests in India intensify. Security tightened in New Delhi.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. You're with me, Shehan Maradunga. Now on to your top story. Sri Lanka Teachers Association staged a protest opposing the sale of the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port.
The demonstration was held opposite the Isurupaya premises. The group marched to Bathramulla. The protesters distributed leaflets in order to inform the public.
ඇමරිකෙන් කැති අධිරාජ්‍යවාදයට උඩගෙඩි දෙන්නා වූ අපි හැමදෙනාට ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා ලක්ෂ 6ක් ලාංකිකයන්ට පුළුවන්කම
600,000 Sri Lankans can come together, invest $1,000 each and collect $600 million. We can protect what is ours.
තම තමන්ගේ දායකත්වය ලබා දෙයි කියලා.
If the issue is financial, that is due to political leaders looting the money of the people over the past 2 decades. Name 100 politicians, seize their assets and collect the money. Although a few Buddhist monks express their views, we cannot say that everyone is upset with the government. The president conducts discussions with monks once in 2 to 3 months. They provide their support. Our stance against selling national resources has not changed. Do not try to suppress the people's mandate by using the power of the government. Halt the decision to sell off the terminal and take steps to boost our revenue. 6.9 million people did not give the government the power to act in this manner. They did not vote for the national resources to be sold. We wish to state that the struggle of the Ports Authority marks the end of the government.
A batch of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines manufactured in India is due to reach Sri Lanka by tomorrow.
The operations manager of Air India Airlines at the Bandaranaike International Airport, Saranath Pires, has said that a flight carrying a batch of vaccines is due to reach Sri Lanka at 11 AM tomorrow. State Minister for COVID-19 Disease Control, Sudarshani Fernandopulle, said authorities will commence a vaccination drive in the country immediately after receiving the vaccines. She added frontline workers currently battling the COVID-19 pandemic, including healthcare personnel and the Triforces, will be among the first recipients of the vaccine.
We hope to administer the vaccine among 300,000 individuals, as we have to provide 2 doses for each person. Healthcare workers, Triforces personnel and police officers who are in front of the lines of combating COVID-19 will be given priority. We have estimated an allocation of 155,000 vaccines to the health sector, 127,000 vaccines to the Triforces and the police. We hope to administer these vaccines at state hospitals and the offices of the medical officer of health once we receive them. The vaccines will be distributed among all provinces under the first phase of our program. The State Pharmaceuticals Corporation has taken the relevant steps to seek approval for the importation of other vaccines. The National Medicines Regulatory Authority will take steps to provide regulatory approval for the vaccines of other brands. We hope to vaccinate between 55 and 60% of our population in a phased manner.
The National Medicines Regulatory Authority has granted regulatory clearance for the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine manufactured in India. Russia's Sputnik 5 vaccine is among the jabs that were sent to the NMRA seeking regulatory approval. The State Pharmaceutical Corporation is taking relevant measures to bring down the Russian jab. The corporation had handed over the relevant documents seeking regulatory clearance for the Sputnik 5 vaccine to the NMRA on the 8th of this month. Presidential advisor Lalit Veeratunga convened a media briefing today to comment on the batch of COVID-19 vaccines that are due to reach Sri Lanka tomorrow. Once the vaccines reach the airport, we will transport them to the cold storage facilities of the Ministry of Health. We will commence a vaccination drive on Friday. If we vaccinate healthcare workers, it would make things easier for them to battle the pandemic. The other target groups are the police and Triforces. I wish to state that we are receiving a donation. China has also taken steps to provide us with 300,000 Sinopharm vaccines. That will also be a donation. We will hold talks in future to decide how we can import them. At the same time, the President has requested his Russian counterpart for their Sputnik 5 vaccine developed by the Gamaleya Center. We are expecting a response over the next few days. The government is also taking steps to purchase the vaccines. The State Pharmaceutical Corporation hopes to place an order of around 2 or 3 million vaccines from the Serum Institute in the coming days. There is no point in bringing down a large number of vaccines at a time and then storing them. This is because it bears a shelf life about 6 months for these vaccines.
Parliamentarian Arundhika Fernando has tested positive for COVID-19 today. Accordingly, the number of parliamentarians to have been infected by the virus stands at 7. The COVID-19 death toll in the country rose to 288, with the total number of cases standing at 59,922. 8,588 individuals infected by the virus are currently under medical care. The Ministry of Health has issued a series of guidelines concerning the release of COVID-19 infected people from quarantine.
COVID patients can be released from quarantine if they have developed antibodies. Symptomatic patients can be referred to the quarantine process, and if there is any progress, they can leave the quarantine center on the 10th day following the PCR test. Such patients must remain indoors for 4 days. Infected people in nursing homes, hotels and prisons will have to stay at the treatment center for 4 days after the 10th day.
Wild elephants encroached into an area in which a Satyagraha campaign is underway, calling for a solution to the human-elephant conflict. The Satyagraha campaign, launched by farmers of Valsapugala, entered its 10th day today.
Farmers of Valsapugala in Hambantota are engaging in a Satyagraha campaign, urging authorities to gazette the Surya Weber managed wild elephant reserve. Amateur footage showed a herd of elephants that had encroached into the location of the demonstration on Monday, returning to the forest this morning. The problems faced by farmers must be resolved immediately. We won't call off the Satyagraha campaign until then. If politicians do not pay attention to the problems of farmers, I wish to regrettably state that we will deprive them of their right to come and campaign for votes in our locality.
මේ අතර සත්‍යග්‍රහය පැවැත්වෙන ස්ථානයට ඊයේ දිනේ පරිසරවේදී සජීව චාමිකර මහතා පැමිණ ගොවීන් සමග සාකච්ඡාවක නිරත වුණා.
ඒතකොට මේ ගජිමිදුරු වැඩසටහන යටතේ තමයි සැලසුම් කළේ හම්බන්තොට.
The managed elephant reserve in Hambantota was to be gazetted under the program to offer benefits for their allies. The purpose of this move was to create a habitat for elephants after clearing 25,000 acres of land and to link the forests surrounding the area. As the process of gazetting the managed elephant reserve was delayed, the land was used for development activities, including the construction of houses and settlements. That is the main problem.
We apologize for the technical glitch. Now in other news here at home. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to probe political victimization has submitted its report to the President by now. Last week, a cabinet proposal regarding the matter was put forward and it was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers. The report proposes legal action be instituted against 22 political leaders of the previous government as well as those involved in criminal investigations. Various opinions on the matter were expressed by various quarters.
යහපාන රජය සමයේ පත් කරපු දේශපාලන පරිගණක කමිටුව සම්බන්ධයෙන් දැන් චෝදනා ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා. ඒතකොට මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා කියලා කියනවා මේ වැරදියට කටයුතු කරා කියලා. මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඔබතුමාටත් මේකේ වගකීමක් තියෙනවා. බොහොම පැහැදිලිව අපට ජනවරමක් ලැබුණා.
We were given a mandate to punish the corrupt. This happened following a proposal put forth by former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The police conducted investigations while the Attorney General's department filed indictments against the corrupt. The hilarity of this matter is allegations have been levelled against the former Minister of Justice as well. This is all a vain attempt to conceal their misdealings and to silence anyone who would oppose them and to rid them of their civic rights. The people know it. We will not falter. We cannot stop this struggle till we get rid of these people.
මංකොල්ලකාර පරපුර ඉවත් කරන කම්ම අපේ ඒ ගමන දූෂණයට එරෙහි අරගලය අපේ සිරජවල වලින් නතර කරන්න බෑ. තුසිත් මුදලිගේ කියලා මහත්මයෙක් නීතිපති දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවේ
Tusit Mudalige, a senior attorney at the Attorney General's department who handled corruption cases, is currently under severe stress. The Commission has recommended that legal action be taken against him as well. You might not know of his health right now. In December last year, he suffered a brain damage and is now unconscious. That is the reward they have been given for simply discharging their duties as state officials. It has been recommended to institute legal action against Janaka Bandara as well. Is this the justice we seek? We cannot forget Shania Besekara or Nishanta Silva either.
An event was organized in Colombo in remembrance of journalists who were murdered or who had gone missing in the country. The event had been organized by the National Movement for Social Justice yesterday.
We
are seeking a new constitution. Democracy must be protected under the new constitution. The rights infringed by the 20th Amendment must be protected. We are not stating this with the intention of producing a king, president or a government. Everyone must be treated equally regardless of their differences under the new constitution.
Ahimsa Wickrematunge, the daughter of the slain newspaper editor Lasantha Wickrematunge, also delivered a virtual address during the event.
It is up to us as a civil society to break the cycle of fear. This cycle must be broken. There must come a time when ordinary Sri Lankans need not live in fear. There must come a time when those who live in fear are those who try to silence us through abduction, arrest, torture, murder and disappearance. These criminals will never be afraid for as long as their own blood-soaked hands are wrapped around the wheels of justice. They will only know fear when justice takes the side of the fallen heroes whom we honor here today. This is why I dedicate these remarks not just to those who we have lost, but also to those who risk their lives to help turn the wheels of justice and seek accountability for the slaughter of journalists.
The Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the 2019 April 21st attacks concluded the examination of evidence last evening.
Former Director of the Criminal Investigations Department, Shania Besekara, who is in remand custody, provided evidence as the last witness before the Commission yesterday. Upon concluding the examination of evidence last evening, the Commission announced that it would conduct its final session at 4 p.m. today. The report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry appointed to probe the 2019 April 21st attacks is due to be handed over to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the 31st of this month. The 5-member commission was appointed by former President Maithripala Sirisena on the 21st of September 2019. The police unit of the Presidential Commission that commenced investigations on the 31st of October 2019 has recorded statements from 1,570 witnesses. Among them, the Presidential Commission has recorded evidence from more than 437 witnesses during the course of its investigation. The 6-month time period allocated for the Presidential Commission to submit its final report was extended on 2 occasions after 20th of March 2020. The term of the Presidential Commission is due to end on the 31st of January based on the final extension granted to the body.
The decay of Sri Lanka cricket was discussed at length last night at the Satana political program aired on our sister channel Sirasa TV. A number of professionals joined the program to express their views.
We will have to start from discipline. It is a top to bottom process than a bottom up process. Today there is no target. It is in a state of disarray. There should be a target for under 19s, under 23s, A team and the national side. I do not see it. There has to be a target for the administration as well. That is what is important. These things need to be discussed and established. If the current administration cannot set targets, you should find people who can. Today, one group meets on a day and another group meets on a different day. For the benefit of cricket, targets should be set and worked towards. Back in the day, Sri Lanka was known for tea and rubber, but now they speak about cricket. Sri Lanka was well known in the world after we won the World Cup. So everyone should work together if we are to come out of this misery. They should work with the right mind, free of corruption and without considering their own benefits.
මේ ක්‍රීඩාව විකුණම් කරන්න නැතුව විදිහට වැඩ කරන්න ඉගෙන ගැනීමක් තියෙන්නට ඕනේ. ඉතින් මේ තත්ත්වය වෙනස් කරන්න එක පැත්තකින් අපි
To change the situation, the administration should be carried out in a new manner. They will say now ICC would ban the country if we bring an interim committee. It is a false statement. If Namal Rajapaksa goes to ICC and says, give me 2 years to fix all this, ICC will definitely provide that opportunity. I take that responsibility. ICC knows everything happening right now and it is hard to be fixed. If, for example, if Sanad becomes a chairman of the selectors, he cannot fix this. There should be an overhaul of the administration. That is what I'm saying. Appoint an interim committee. We will provide assistance. This is going to be the last time. Give this to us for 2 years and then change the constitution, change the voting system, even invite Bandula Varnapura. They will accept it. However, no one is willing to involve with this set. We don't want to put a foot on the mud and then get ourselves dirty. We are okay with what we are doing right now. Discipline is the most important thing here. If the administration does not have the discipline, how can we expect the players to have discipline?
පරිපාලනය කරන මිනිස්සුන්ට විනය නැතුව අපි කොහොමද ක්‍රීඩකයන්ට කරන්නේ? ඉතින් ඔතනින් අපි පටන් ගන්න වෙයි. ඔය ශ්‍රී ලංකා A team එකේ ඉඳන් ඔය පල්ලෙහාට යන ස්කොට්ස් ටික හැදුවොත්
If you fix the squads below the A team, this can be fixed. It should start from under 19. It can even start from under 15. None of these are based on my knowledge. If we have these in place, the selection committee just has to speak to the relevant coach. I have told Avishkar from Sri Lanka A, you should get someone. It is not my responsibility. He should groom and find players for me. If Arjuna tells me that I am the coach of A team and that I have to get good players, it is my responsibility and I will have to do justice for the remuneration I receive.
මගේ වගකීම ඉෂ්ට වෙනවා. දැන් මෙතන මේ දීලා තියෙන වගකීම් ටික ඉෂ්ට වෙන්න ඕනේ. මම පුහුණුකරුවෙක් වශයෙන් කතා කරනවා.
From a coach perspective, if I speak, we need to look at how we can enhance the quality of our structure, then first class structure, and then onwards Sri Lanka under 19, emerging, Sri Lanka A, and finally Sri Lanka cricket. Decrease the quantity and increase the quality. Thereafter all these levels should be linked and how we can take them to the next level. Leaders should be groomed. Leaders like Arjuna Ranatunga and Sanat Jayasuriya should be groomed. Leaders are the ones who unite the team and carry them forward. If there is no accountability and people point out fingers at each other, this will not happen. Everyone should work together to fix this.
And
that wraps up your lunchtime news right here on TV1. Thank you for watching.